Oh, isn't this just one of the greatest weeks to be a wrestling fan ever? If you didn't know and you're living under 17 fucking rocks, get it? WrestleMania is this weekend. So, join me in predicting the match card and who's going to win on both nights of WrestleMania, as well as Stand and Deliver, which I'll just quickly go through first. Let me know if you disagree with any of this. You probably will, but let's just go ahead and predict Stand and Deliver, which is before WrestleMania Night 1. So on this recent episode of NXT, we got a couple matches announced, including Joe Gacy versus Sean Spears, which will be in the kickoff show. And I think Sean Spears will win that match. Then we also have Thea Hale, Fallon Henley, and Kalani Jordan versus JC Jane, Kiana James, and Izzy Dame. I think it's going to go to Hale, Fallon, and Kalani. They've done a really good story between Hale, Fallon, and JC and, what's her name, Jasmine Nix, I think. But for some reason, they just said, you know what, let's fucking chuck Kiana James and Izzy Dame, which is fair enough because they are doing really, really well at the moment. And I just think that's what's going to happen. And then we move on to the North American title match, which is a triple threat match between Obafemi, Dijak, and Josh Briggs. Big, meaty men slapping meat. That's what this match will be. And I think it's finally time to coronate Dijak. The bloke's done everything besides win a title in WWE. Like, he's had great matches, great feuds, and he just needs that big moment. And I think giving him the North American title, just do it. Come on, he ratios people on Twitter. And then we have the tag title match between the Wolf Dogs, which is Bron Breakker and Baron Corbin, versus Axiom and Nathan Frazier. I don't think there is a world where you can have Baron Corbin or Bron Breakker lose the NXT titles to Axiom and Nathan Frazier. If it was the OC, I'd give the OC the titles here, but it's not going to be the OC because I think the Wolf Dogs will be called up on the Raw after Mania as a tag team. Or actually, the SmackDown, I should say, because Bron's on SmackDown. So yeah, I've got the Wolf Dogs taking the NXT titles up and then just getting stripped off them. I think that's for the better. You don't have one of the premier teams in NXT lose, especially because we'll get over to that six-pack tag match on night one and I'll explain my theory. Then we have the NXT women's title match between Lyra Valkyria and Roxanne Perez. I think it's pretty simple. I think Tatum Paxley is going to screw over Lyra Valkyria and give Roxanne Perez her women's title back that she never lost, even though there's been like 4 women's champions since she's lost it. But yeah, no, very, very good character that Roxanne's been having at the moment, and I just think it's time to just go with that new version of the Trish and Mickie James feud with Lyra and Tatum Paxley. Then we have the NXT Championship, the men's title. The matches between Tony D and champion Ilya Dragunov, or Tony D'Angelo, I should say. And I think it's time to, send Ilya up on the Raw after Mania and give the NXT title to Tony D'Angelo. Have him be just the Mafia Boss champion and just have him just run NXT. It'd be very, very fun. And I love Tony D. And I love Ilya. And this match is going to slap. And then we get to NXT's version, or the new NXT's version, of Johnny Gargano versus Ciampa in Trick Williams versus Carmelo Hayes. I think this match is going to be outstanding. I think it's going to be carried mostly by Melo. I don't think Trick's as good as a wrestler as Melo. But in saying that, Trick's the one that's going to go over. I think Melo gets called up to the main roster unless Shawn Michaels just says, hey, Triple H, wait a couple months until the summer. Let me have Melo for then. Let them do that 50-50 booking and then have that final match in like June, July. I don't know. Yeah, that is my NXT Stand Deliver predictions. Let's move on to Mania. And no, this isn't in what I think will be the match order. It's just what was on the WWE Instagram when they announced both match cards. So, night one, we'll kick it off with Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus Santos Escobar and Dominic Mysterio. Now, I think this personally should have been a Rey Dom, hair versus mask match. Dominic Mysterio looks like he's going to get fucking kicked out of Judgment Day, and I don't like that. But I am going to go with Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee in this match. I think it just makes too much sense. Dragon Lee is the next Rey Mysterio, and you have Rey Mysterio as his tag team partner. And I just don't think Santos and Dom need this win more than the LWO do at the moment. And then we have Bianca Belair, Naomi and Jade Cargill versus Damage Control, which is consisting of Dakota Kai, Kairi Sane, and Asuka. And I'm going with Team 1, Bianca, Naomi, and Jade. You're just going to have Jade pin, like, Dakota after hitting her with a mad fucking powerbomb like she did on SmackDown. But it just makes too much sense. It makes too much sense. Bianca stays undefeated. Naomi gets her win, and Jade shows off. But we move on now to Jimmy Uso versus Jay Uso. The blood feud between the two brothers who have wanted this match their whole career. They've said it in interviews. They said it in interviews before last year's Mania. And then they're doing it this year. So I'm going to obviously go with Jay. I think Jay is going to go over. It's going to be an emotional one, though. I think it's going to be an emotional emotional match. And Jay's just going to go over. Rikishi might come out for all we fucking know. I don't know. Solo's going to probably turn up. Rikishi's going to stop Solo. There you go. That's my prediction for the match. I completely, skipped a match that I had written down, which was the tag title match. You can see all of the competitors here on the screen now. The 6 teams, and the 2 that I think are going to win. Now, when you're like, what? 2? 2 teams? What? Michael Cole, and I've also had this prediction for a while, but I've changed up the team, so I think we'll win. Michael Cole said on commentary, this match isn't over until both titles are taken off. There's going to be a Raw and a SmackDown one. So this is how they're going to split the tag titles. And I think I probably am wrong with this, because it's probably going to be R-Truth grabbing one of the titles and being like, haha, yeah, blah, blah, blah. I think it's going to go to DIY and the New Catch Republic. So DIY takes the Raw titles, New Catch Republic takes the SmackDown titles. Even though it probably will be the Awesome Truth in the New Catch Republic, I just want to see DIY with the tag titles and get their WrestleMania moment at their first WrestleMania. But yeah, DIY and New Catch Republic to win both tag titles. And then we move on to the Intercontinental title match between Gunther and Sami Zayn. Even though, sure, they're doing a decent story right now between Sami and Gunther, with Gable coming in, I think they're doing the Rocky storyline where Gunther's going to lose the title in Berlin to Chad Gable, which means I think Gunther's retaining here. I think he continues his longest reigning Intercontinental title run, and he's going to lose to Gable at Bash of Berlin, but I'm going with Gunther to retain against Sami. In a great match, but still retaining. And then we got the Women's World title match between Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch. Please do not give the title to Becky, especially if she's not going to re-sign. I think Rhea should retain, especially because she's going on a great run at the moment, and I just don't believe in Becky beating Rhea. Plus, Rhea's just better. Sorry, it's come from an Aussie, but Rhea's just better than Becky. But yeah, I think Rhea to retain against Becky, and then you have Rhea lose at SummerSlam to someone. Don't have her hold the title until next Mania. I can't be fucked seeing a women's champion for that long. Build someone up. Liv Morgan to take the title off her at SummerSlam. I don't know. Have Jade or Bianca move to Raw and have them win it. Just not Becky, please. I don't want to see it. Then we move on to Becky's husband, Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes versus Rock and Roman Reigns in the main event of night 1. And I think, and listen, it's obviously going to be The Rock and Roman, but I think The Rock pins Cody. Yep. You're probably like, why would they have Cody take the pin and not Seth? Because I think it's going to be some sort of like adversary thing they're going to talk about the whole night during commentary and during night 2. And I just think it makes sense, because then you're going to probably have Rock versus Cody at SummerSlam and not at Mania, because you're going to have Rock and Roman at Mania. But, Rock is scheduled to have a feud with Cody sometime this year, like a one-on-one feud. SummerSlam seems like the place. Go and do it. But yeah, I think The Rock and Roman Reigns will win the night 1 tag match. And that's it with night 1. Let's move on to night 2, where there's actually only 6 matches on this card, whereas there's 7 on night 1, where, I think you can probably swap around 2 of the matches, as well as having one of the matches on night 1 on night 2, especially because you have that 6-pack ladder match, which is going to go on for a while. So one of these matches is going to get cut really, really short. I think as well you could probably have Bianca and, that match versus Damage Control on night 2, the same night as Bayley versus Io Sky. Which, fuck it, Bayley versus Io Sky, even though it's like the third last match I have written down. And I don't know why I don't think Bayley's retaining. I don't think Bayley's winning. I think it's going to go to Io. Io, I think, beats Bayley, and Damage Control will obviously come out. So will Bianca, Naomi, and Jade. But I just have a feeling that it's going to be Jade or Bianca that takes the title off of Io around summer. Or maybe just before summer. I just don't see a world where Bayley comes out as champion. I just don't see it. And then we got Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits versus the Final Testament. And as much as the Final Testament needs the win, I think they got to give it to Lashley and the Street Profits. Just have that, and then have that group just split. Have Lashley go on a singles run. Have the Profits go and challenge for the tag titles. It's too many factions. And that's a faction I think you can like chop. You can get rid of it. And then we have LA versus AJ. LA Knight versus AJ Styles. As much as I want to see AJ Styles win, because I hate LA Knight, it's going to be LA Knight that wins. He just needs this win more. AJ's having a great heel run at the moment. And this feud is very, very funny to watch because LA Knight is just batshit crazy. But yeah, I'm going LA Knight. And then we move on to the United States Championship match, which is a triple threat match between Owens, Orton, and Paul. I think Logan Paul is retaining here. I think he's going to cheat again. Someone's going to come out and help him. And yeah, that's what's going to happen. He's going to hold the title up until SummerSlam. Probably will retain it at SummerSlam. You know, SummerSlam's in Cleveland. And he might have a match with LeBron James for all we fucking know. I don't know.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine.
And then we have the World Heavyweight Championship match between Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre. Hear me out. Hear me out here, because this is a very bold prediction from me. I obviously have Drew winning due to bloodline interference. The Rock might screw Seth over. I also think CM Punk will screw Drew over. So I think Drew beats Seth, but then CM Punk comes into the ring, hits Drew McIntyre with a GTS, and then Drew gets cashed in on by Damian Priest. And you have Priest hold the title all the way up until July, which I think is when the Glasgow Clash at the Castle is happening, which is then when you have Drew have his crowning moment in front of 8,000 people in that very small arena against Damian Priest. And I think you have Drew CM Punk either before that or after it. I don't know. But you just have Drew obsessed with the fact that he got screwed again. But he's going to go win in front of his countrymen this time, not against Roman in Wales, not Scotland. See, that's my prediction. Between Drew and Seth, Drew. But I think Priest will cash in successfully. And then we have the main event of night 2, which is probably going to go on for an hour, which is why there's one less match on this card. Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, undisputed Universal Heavyweight WWE Everything Champion. Even though I don't want to see Cody Rhodes win, it's time you do it. Unless, in my opinion, you have MJF debut at WrestleMania somehow, there is no way Cody loses. Cody's going to beat Reigns, end that title run, have his moment, but I just feel like I don't want to see Cody with the world title, because I think we're going to turn on him. And not me personally, I think he'll be fine as champion, but I think people are going to turn on him, just like they did in AEW. They're going to turn on the fucking WWE if they don't have Cody win the title at Mania. So, even though I'm wearing a Roman Reigns shirt at the moment, I've got his pop here. Cody will win. And that's it. Let me know if you would change any of these predictions, what your predictions are in the comments as well. Let me know. Like and subscribe, and enjoy WrestleMania weekend, including the Raw after WrestleMania as well, which obviously I can't predict anything for that. But yeah, that's it from me. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys all in my next video. Bye for now.